Ambassador Mike Huckabee had a meeting with Jonathan Pollard, a former U.S. citizen who was convicted and spent 3 decades in jail for selling state secrets to Israel. Did the White House know that that meeting was going to happen? Does the administration condone it?
The White House was not aware of that meeting, but the president stands by our ambassador, Mike Huckabee.
Okay, so according to the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt there, President Donald Trump is standing by his ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee. That is despite the fact that Huckabee met with an American who was convicted of serving as a spy for Israel. And that meeting took place without Trump's approval. Your 2 cents on this one, Cenk.
This is as bad as it gets. We're now literally talking to traitors, actual traitors who betrayed America. Jonathan Pollard is gonna rub it in our face in a minute, as you're gonna see. We invite him to the US Embassy. That's hallowed ground that he's stepping on as a freaking traitor. And what's most amazing, Sharon, is they do this behind Trump's back. Why did they not tell Trump? That is super weird. So we got to talk about that as well. But first, find out the absolutely outrageous facts of this story.
We'll begin with Jonathan Pollard. Once served as an American naval intelligence analyst. He was arrested in 1985 for stealing American classified documents and giving them to Israel. Then Secretary of Defense Caspar Weinberger wrote that Pollard had handed over so many documents that they could fill a space 6 feet by 6 feet by 10 feet. Pollard sentenced to life in prison. That was in 1987. Israel's government granted him Israeli citizenship while he was detained. And during the 3 decades of Pollard's sentence, right-wing Israelis worked hard to get him out of prison. 2015, Pollard was released on parole. 2020, he moved to Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu, prime minister at the time, gave him a hero's welcome. It seemed that Pollard has not changed much during his time in prison. Pollard said he did not regret spying for Israel, claiming the US had cut Israel out of intelligence sharing, and he castigated Trump, calling him a madman who has literally sold us down the drain for Saudi gold. As for his thoughts on the current state of Israel and Palestine, in an interview with the Jerusalem Post in August, he advocated for annexing Gaza and repopulating the territory with Israeli settlers. Huckabee's meeting with Pollard, which took place in July, freaked out not only the Trump administration, but even the CIA. White House was not aware of the meeting in advance, according to a White House official. 2 people briefed on the matter. White House official also said that senior officials there were alarmed when they learned it had taken place. The meeting was kept off Huckabee's official schedule, that according to 2 anonymous US officials. The fact that it occurred alarmed the Central Intelligence Agency's station chief in Israel, 3 of the officials said. We may never know what was actually discussed in that meeting. We may never know. Pollard said simply, it was a friendly meeting. I bet. Pollard also said there were, quote, a lot of things that came up in conversation with the ambassador, but he declined to elaborate. As for Huckabee, in a statement, US Embassy said Huckabee had meetings with numerous people. As a matter of general policy, we do not comment as to the content of conversations. It's worth noting that over a decade ago, Huckabee was lobbying for Pollard to be released. We should also let you know that Huckabee's senior advisor, David Milstein, was present in the meeting as well. That would be Mark Levin's stepson. So there's so much to unpack here, and the fact that, I guess first off, Cenk, that Trump is standing by him, even though the president was cut out of everything. This is kept off of an official schedule. They're doing whatever they want, and he's got to sign off on it, apparently. Who's in charge here?
Yeah, there's so many amazing parts of the story. First of all, I think Trump should double his Secret Service. And if you think that's wild, hold on. We're gonna talk about it. Second of all, Bill Clinton, old story about him comes into play with Jonathan Pollard, where Israel tried to blackmail him. It's amazing. Did you know that? Okay, but before I get to any of that, let me read you the last quote from Jonathan Pollard in this story in the New York Times. So he said, just as certain members of the Trump administration profess an America First doctrine, I wholeheartedly embrace an Israel First doctrine. Now remember, he was a US naval officer. He was pretending to be an American, but the whole time he was Israel First. And he brags about it now, and he rubs it in our face. I was Israel First the whole time. I couldn't wait to take those secrets of America and betray America and give it to the Israelis. Now look, guys, don't get into dual loyalty stuff and are all Jewish people like that? Absolutely not. This is just a radical spy, okay, and a literal traitor, right? But wait a minute, why are we meeting with this traitor? Why did we bring him to our embassy? This guy to this day says, no, I hate America first. I love Israel first, and I betrayed you for Israel first. He's saying it. And Huckabee's like, oh, that's great. You betrayed America for Israel first. Come on in. Let's do a secret meeting. What in the world is going on? But to me, the fact that Trump didn't know about it and the CIA didn't know about it makes it infinitely worse. What in the world? Okay, so hold on now. When I see this story, I then go, Israel must be upset at something Trump has done, right? So I start looking into it more. And lo and behold, Israel First here in America currently are upset with Trump. The first thing I find is a segment from Mark Levin saying, I can't believe he did a deal with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's dirty Muslims. You should hate all Muslims. You should only do deals with Israel, right? And he also hates that we did a deal with Qatar. And he's like, Mark Levin literally said, now Israel can't even kill people in Qatar without violating this peace deal that America has. Oh, so what's America gonna do? Defend Qatar if Israel decides to bomb it? Yeah, that's what the deal is. And he's like, well, then we couldn't murder anyone we like in the Middle East. Now we can't murder the Saudis, whatever we want. Outrageous. You know what TYT's always been about? Taking on the corrupt, greedy establishment. For us, it's the corporate media. We've been fighting that fight for over 20 years. For the cell phone industry, it's the same story. A handful of massive corporations ripping you off. That's why we're partnering with Noble Mobile. They're the only wireless company with the same mission as ours, to fight back. Their No Bull plan offers unlimited data for just $50 a month. But here's the best part. For any data you don't use, you get cash back. Real money you can spend however you want. Stop letting your unused data pad the pockets of billionaires. With Noble, you take control over your data. And by switching to Noble, you're directly supporting TYT in our mission of bringing you honest, independent news. So give Noble a try and make the switch today. Scan the QR code on the screen now or visit go.tyt.com/plan. That's go.tyt.com/plan. And then Trump did an arms deal with Saudi Arabia. That's why Mohammed bin Salman was over, F-35s, etc. And Mark Levin and Israel First were outraged. No one else in the Middle East is allowed to have a military. The minute they have a military, Israel attacks them like 1967 and wipes out their air forces. Or they go, oh, they have weapons of mass destruction, Iraq. We made it up, it's a lie. And give it to the Americans. The Americans work for us anyway. They go, weapons of mass destruction, and they attack Iraq. That was Israel's #1 enemy. Now with Iran, oh, they could get, any second now they're gonna get nuclear weapons. Come on, America, bomb Iran for us, right? But Trump stopped bombing Iran, and they were already mad about that. Then he forced them into a peace deal. I thought they were gonna take it and run because they already stole half of Gaza. No, infinite greed. So they're like, no, they want to go back in, drop site news reporting. No, they want the other 50% of Gaza. Like Jonathan Pollard saying, they want to ethnically cleanse all of Gaza, bring in Israeli settlers, and make it part of greater Israel. Okay, so now in that context, what is Mike Huckabee doing, bringing this traitor to our embassy and having a private conversation behind Trump's back when that traitor is part of Israel First and is a far-right activist, not like right-wing in America. Far-right in Israel is genocidal terrorists. And so I don't know if that's even on the political spectrum. So This guy is talking about murdering everyone in Gaza, and Mike Huckabee's like, ooh, I'm all ears. Oh, you don't like Trump? Oh, you calling Trump a madman? That's the president I work for. Guys, I'm not saying like, oh, Trump's great and I'm outraged by this guy's views on Trump. No, why is Huckabee, who's the ambassador for Trump, meeting with a guy who hates Trump and is trying to oppose his policies? Nah, if I was the president, I'd call Huckabee in right now to the White House and go, what the F were you talking about? And if you lie even in one word, I'm not just gonna fire you, I'm gonna have you arrested, and then we're gonna find out real evidence about what you guys talked about. Okay, double, triple Trump's Secret Service. Whenever someone in America opposes Israel, someone of importance, you should be super careful. And if something happens to Trump, look, everybody knows I'm no fan of Trump, but that's policy. Currently, he's the US president. If something happens to Trump, remember this meeting. It is, Sharon, it's beyond outrageous. There is no defensible position here at all. So, but my guess is, and credit to New York Times, great job reporting there. I'm gonna come back to Bill Clinton in a second, but my guess is this will be the last time you'll ever hear about it. It won't be on cable news. Everybody go, oh, beloved Israel, we bow, beloved Israel. Of course, your traitors are heroes. Conspire against us, all you like, with our own ambassador. What is this?
Yeah, it's all of that. Plus, and maybe this is the petty part that Pollard is kind of like taunting us. I mean, this is so brazen, so center stage. This is meant to be, I know it was left off the calendar, but it's like Israel, Pollard, Huckabee, they don't mind. They actually don't mind doing this in such a high profile way, regardless of whether the mainstream media, other than the Times, is writing about it. It's scary.
Yeah. No, all right, last couple of things here, guys. David Milstein, as Sharon told you, is a stepson for Mark Levin. What a coincidence. And so Israel First brings our US ambassador to the King Israel First, Jonathan Pollard, right? And I don't know if they bowed to him. By the way, Huckabee, you should be careful about secret meetings at embassies. How'd that work out for Jamal Khashoggi? Oh no, that was Saudi Arabia. The Israelis would never kill anyone. With 70,000 dead in Gaza right now, let alone 9 Americans dead, let alone 241 journalists dead, etc. But I'm sure. Anyways, so now that brings us back. By the way, if Milstein or Huckabee did something wrong there, they should definitely be arrested and there should be significant consequences. We're talking about a core betrayal of this country. Okay, you don't have secret meetings with the most radical terrorist traitors in Israel unless you're talking about something wrong. You don't go there and go, oh yeah, what did you think of the football game last night? That's not why they met. Okay, last things about Clinton, as I promised you. Ryan Grimm reminding us on Drop Site News that there was credible reporting, a book that reported on it, etc. That during the Clinton-Lewinsky affair, the Israelis told Bill Clinton, we have tapes of you and her having phone sex. And then what did they want in return? They wanted Jonathan Pollard released. So the Israelis already have a history of blackmailing our presidents. How are they in any way, shape, or form an ally? No, they're not our ally. Jonathan Pollard's our enemy. And they're constantly blackmailing our politicians. And they had Jeffrey Epstein, they work with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein is in the emails talking about how we should get America to bomb Syria and Iran on behalf of Israel. And then he has Israeli intelligence over it. He has a former prime minister of Israel over 30 times. So no, these people are not our allies at all. They're our enemies. And so what Israel did with Clinton was they said, oh, we had those tapes. Now we really would like Jonathan Pollard released immediately, okay? And so Clinton was gonna do it. He goes to the CIA director, George Tenet, and George Tenet, to his credit, which I didn't know, said, if you do it, I'll resign right now and I'll tell everyone. So Clinton was like, God damn it. And the Israelis said, oh, that's okay, Mr. President. We had already destroyed those tapes. Wink. Sure they had. Sure they had. They still have it now. Okay. How did Israel get tapes of our president private phone conversations? And after that happened, why did they continue to be called an ally? After they shot at the USS Liberty, after they've done endless things, why did we still give them $300 billion of our money? And now we're meeting with the goddamn traitors? Nah, this is not an ally at all. And by the way, if you're wondering, how did Pollard wind up in Israel? He was supposed to serve a life sentence. Well, Clinton tried really hard, but his sentence was not over, and Tenet promised to resign, so he couldn't do it. So then they went to Obama, pressured Obama, and Obama released him on parole. And then he was not allowed to leave America, right? Because that was part of the conditions of his parole. Then Trump came in and said, oh, no, you're free to go to Israel. We're so sorry. We're so sorry that we didn't serve Israel more, beloved traitor. Well, how'd that work out for you, Trump? All these dogs of Israel constantly serving a different country. How did it work out for you guys? Now, that same guy that Trump helped release is in Israel working with our ambassador on God knows what. But we do know currently Israel First is upset at Donald Trump. Minimum double his Secret Service, minimum. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.